Hello, welcome to Star Wars Spelt Out. I'm your host, Josh Chapman, and today, one of my favorite things, first-time guest. It's always cool when we get a first-time guest. Let's get her in here. It's about time we got a goddamn professional on here. Sick of all these rank amateurs who come on all the time. Let's get a real Hollywood insider in here, someone who's out there walking the beat, doing the yards, doing all that cool stuff, giving you all the information you like. Laura Sirikul, how are you? Live from Hollywood.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah, covering journalist covering TV and film, and then Star Wars thing is because I love it. So yes, I'm really happy to be here. You and I have been like online friends for years, so it's nice to like finally chat with each other in life.
I think we met very briefly at Celebration Anaheim. I think at Steele's thing. I think we chatted briefly.
It was so brief, though.
It was because there was a lot going on.
I was just in awe of your accent, and I'm like, oh. And then you walked away, and I'm like, oh.
Oh, really? Oh,
and then
I'm sorry if I walked away.
No, you didn't walk away. It's because they were starting, so we had to walk away and do stuff. And like, I had to go on.
Look if we were just still standing in the middle of the thing chatting while he was trying to get his show going.
Oh, I know. Like, the next part, I'm like, okay. I know. No, and so it's always great to meet. Like when I met you briefly for things, but I was just like, but we kept in contact online.
Yeah, for sure. And I've always got like a little list of people, because I've got like people who have come on the podcast regularly, who are always reliable, and then something, somebody like Catherine or Matt Mole, or people who know the show, or Turbo. I'll go, oh, something's come up, can you come on and chat about this? We just need people. But I also like to try and get people. I've got a little list of people I want to get in, and your name has been on that list for a long time. And I'm actually surprised you don't on more podcasts, really. Maybe after this Star Wars one specifically, you'll,
Yeah, I want to do. I think it's because like there's like not much news going on, if they do, like I always get invited whenever it's either an Asian topic, like regarding a character or a breakdown in a film, or like, but like lately, it's mainly been like the TV verse, like that world. And I'm surprised I didn't get to talk about, I know, I was like, let me talk about Lee Jung-jae and the Acolyte and Manny. I covered that extensively, so I was surprised that no one, I was like, come on, dude. I covered it. I actually knew about Manny's flip before everyone else did, because the way I was interviewing him, he was being really secretive. Mm-hmm. But then there's one thing he said to me, and I actually put it in my article, that Disney emailed me and said, hey, do you mind taking that out? That is too obvious.
It's like, we didn't expect you to crack so easily under the pressure of your journalistic gaze. Yeah,
I was like, oh, he a bad guy. We're in danger. Like, I was just like thinking that. I mean,
you're a real journalist. You're out there. You're legitimate. You do things that us lowly podcasters can only dream about, of having access to Disney and things like that. If I get invited to Melbourne's done a few, they've done like screenings of final episodes of some of the TV stuff, and sometimes by luck I've got an invite to that, but usually it's not even directly from Disney. It's through somebody, or someone knows something. So it's very quite rare, but you always feel special when you get to go. Like, what's it like when you get a little email that pops in and you're like, oh, something from Disney, what's that all about? Is that how it works? Does an email just pop in the inbox?
Yeah, so like I've been covering Disney titles for a long time, and my specialty is like regarding breaking down like things for people of color, and also in the minority group, because like I like to highlight those. Mm-hmm. And so I'm on Disney's list to on their list, because I've always wanted to talk to people who not many people want to talk to, but before Kelly was announced, I wanted, like when she was first announced, like they mentioned her, like still people were like, oh, who is she? And I'm just like, I'm going to talk about her. I want to do this. And, or even the smaller ones, like like this, in the past, there's always been side characters that people kind of like, they always want to talk to Daisy Ridley. They want to talk to Adam Driver. And so I've always pitched to Disney, like, I want to talk to these people because these are unsung heroes. I even talked to craftspeople because for me, I'm like, these people are the people who created this. Yes, they're the leads, but it's important that we highlight everyone who partakes in it. Like I've always been like a big advocate of like, trying to make sure I get the big guys too, but I try to make like, because I always tell people I'm like, I'm beyond just like covering these people, but I cover everyone, and I try to highlight the people that people don't know, people overlook.
Yeah, and they're probably just waiting for someone to ask them as well.
Yeah, and Disney was like Disney has been so kind to me, and like regarding like my coverage, and giving me access to several certain like interviews. Like I appreciate them letting me talk to Lee Jung Jae and Manny Jacinto during the press junket. Like, and Amandala, and like and I've gotten to speak to. I got to sit and had shots with Diego Luna at the Andor event. So I'm
Catherine,
just like
our friend of the show, Catherine Neen, the world's biggest Andor fan. She'll just be
she saw the picture of me and Diego, and she was just like, "What is this, Laura? What is this?" And I'm like, "I know, girl. I know. I even took his nameplate, like, basement. It's like where they sit, and they let us know where we're all sitting. And so I'm just like, well, he didn't take it back, so I'm gonna take this.
Well, why would he want to take it back?
Yeah, I'm like, what's he gonna do with this? It's just his name. It means everything to me.
Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, like, getting the emails, like I honestly always feel appreciative. I email them, even if I can't make it, I always email them. Like, and I, it's part of my job to make sure I cover like everything that's like pop culture, and because I love it too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's great to have built this relationship with them to highlight, these characters, of late, of like that are just never really seen often, because like they really appreciate me kind of putting like pitching for all the side characters, or even the craftspeople who like the artisans. And so yeah, I love it, and like being able to talk to Kathleen Kennedy, like
right now that's well, before we go any further, now you just dropped it, you just dropped the big name there. Now I'm loving the name drops. We always love that. Now well, we don't have a set agenda here. Usually we're very fly by the seat of our trousers, but we do have stuff that, stuff's going on. We'll chat. I mean, we've got to talk about Kathleen Kennedy, a lady who, is speculated a lot, but really is a very much a stay the course kind of person. Doesn't really comment on what she's doing unless she absolutely has to. And for whatever reason, this rumor that she was stepping down stuck for some reason more than any other rumor that sticks around anyway. And she actually made the effort and came out and like gave this whole like real detailed, sort of clarification of where she was at, really. And it all sort of, I don't know, mate, it all sort of felt pretty stay the course, really.
She is incredible. Like, I feel like fanboys obviously underappreciate her so much, and like and because I feel like she has to, like most women in Hollywood, she has to go put herself further out there to prove, versus even though I love him to death, Filoni, like I think if there's rumors, people would not be at this level like she sure. like
and I did when I commented about when the sort of was sort of going around, and I think Star Wars Session was sort of saying, I think when they thought that it was true, like, how would you sum up the role? And I said, it's the hardest job that everybody thinks that they could do. Like, everybody goes, well, I could run Star Wars. Of course I could run Star Wars. You just do this and you just do this. But I'm like, it would be so hard to run that thing. It would be, there's so many parts of that job I'm sure people don't appreciate, rather than just going in a room going, I think we should have the Jedis meet the Sith in a new movie and that's what we should do. And it's like, well, no, that's not even really what the job is about. And I think there's a massive misconception about what the job actually is.
Yeah, she does a lot of the business side. That's why Filoni does the CC, like the creative. He's a chief creative officer. Mm-hmm. And then with Kathleen, she does have the green light, but she also, does all the deals to make sure everything goes smoothly and it all connects, and getting the right people in this job. Like, she is the the neck and the head, the kind of steering everything.
Yep.
And for me, I'm just like, I'm very happy. Like she came out and told everyone, no, this is the plan. This is the details. I'm not retiring. Like every other company, we just make plans to decide what happens if something happened, you know? Like she's not making any plans, but in case they need to have a line of succession, and that's what every company does.
Yeah.
But because
remember that show Succession that everybody liked, you know?
Oh my god, yeah. It's like pick me, and like he's not even retiring. He goes, I'm not gonna retire, bitches.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
He's not. It's not like he's like Brian Cox and like going, you'll have to pry it out of my dead hands. You know, she's just sort of. I did like she was just going, I'll make movies till I die. You know, I love this. This is, you know, you're never going to stop me, whether it's this or something else. But yeah, of course, there's an eventual.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like people think, oh, it's gonna be Star Wars. I'm like, she only doesn't charge of Star Wars. No, she's in charge of a whole bunch of franchises, like IPs, and people are so focused on Star Wars, and I'm just like, guys, and then I believe she's gonna do this job for a long time, like because she is like a lot of people are like, oh, but she brought this, but I'm like, she also gave us Andor. She gave you what you love. She gave you Mandalorian. She brought Filoni into a high precision. Like, it's because of her all these things you love exist. Yep. And there's things you don't like, but that's what every franchise is. I don't love every Marvel movie. I don't love every DC movie. Like, you should know there's going to be hit and miss, but the hits are really the ones that you feel the most. Yep. Like Kevin Feige, like, he has so many hits, he has so many misses, but no one ever questions him. No. And I feel like that's not fair that people are doing that to Kathleen. But I'm so happy she's not leaving anytime soon.
So what is what is she like in person? Like, what's the detail of your interaction? Like, have you had numerous interactions now, or just like a one-off, or like a 2-minute chat, or a?
I've interviewed her a few times on the carpet, and she, like, I love her team. Her team always makes sure to stop to say hi. Yeah. And I've spoken to her about the bullying that was happening for the women of color in Star Wars, and she was very receptive, and gave me a good quote that I was able to publish. And she's always been very professional, and she's very she's very cool and professional. Like, there's no, like, I didn't feel any negative energy. I didn't feel any curt. I didn't feel like she thought any highly of herself, where she's like, didn't want to talk to me. Yep. To everyone, she goes through the line and like talks to, from the big outlets to the small outlets, which I appreciate from someone, like anyone, to do that, because everyone deserves to be heard, like to be spoken to, like to get their access to her. And yep. she made sure she went down the line to everyone, which I really appreciate that. And then her and I got into a great conversation about Kelly Tran Rose Tico. And so we were just like talking about like the love thread. She goes, I love Rose Tico. And then she loved my shirt, and like she even said, send it to me. I will make sure to get it. And so I haven't followed up with them, but we sent it to them. I think my editor did. So I'm hoping that she got one.
Oh, nice. Now, Celebration Japan is in 6 weeks, and you're not coming.
Oh, I'm not. There's just so much content to cover for work and stuff. And in 6 weeks, it's because it's in April, right?
Yeah. April 20-something?
20. Yeah. It's honestly, like, it's now, like, Oscar season just ended, so now I'm preparing for FYC Emmy season. And so I'm like, I honestly was like,
sports seasons, isn't it? It's just like, football season ends and then baseball season starts, or our football season's at the start here in Australia, so it's just like, I'm just rolling from one season to the next season.
Like, I feel like I'm like, okay, I finished the Oscars, and I'm like, oh god, like, I have to watch all these shows because they're up for all these awards, like, Severance, not awards, but potential. Like, Severance is totally going to get nominated because it's incredible. Daredevil Born Again is incredible, so it's probably going to get some.
It just came out today, didn't it?
Yeah, I got it early, so I got to binge it, and I was like, this is. I have to tell you, I know this is a Star Wars podcast, but that's like the best. This is the best series.
Oh, cool.
Like,
there's a little sizzle for everybody if you haven't, get stuck into it.
But that's all I'll say. I'm just devastated. That's the feeling. If people describe it in one word, devastatingly good. But
great.
devastating.
Great.
But yeah, that's why I really want to go because I want to go to Japan. Because I can't believe I missed last time too
in London,
in the UK.
Yep.
Yeah, in the UK, and I was planning on going to that one because my outlet was like, hey, we'd love for you to go and do coverage, and then just last minute things just popped up, and I was like, okay, guys, I can go. And then D23, I might make sure I do D23 because it's always here, but I know Japan. I was like, oh no! I told everyone I think I'm gonna try. And then when they announced the dates, I'm like, oh, those are high season time.
Yeah, well,
because usually it's later than normal, right?
Yeah, it's still over Easter though. So it was over Easter in London, and then it was over Easter again this time. Even though they're obviously two different types, they're two different types of the year. They're not the same days. So they're still sort of weeks apart, but for whatever reason, they've just decided to do that weekend. But it's peak tourist season in Japan as well. So, which is a little bit, makes it a little bit more expensive for us coming over. But we've got a few Australians going over. This is about the closest that we'll get to a celebration in Australia. At least it's in our time zone, so we've got that. So we'll get off the plane and it'll be at the same time, which will be nice.
I know. Everyone's all like, "Would you go to Australia if they have it?" I said, "You guys have too many spiders."
You won't find you won't run into any spiders. You'd have to go hunting for spiders if you.
I feel I think my nephew. I have a nephew who lives in Australia. He's from Australia. My cousin moved to Australia from Thailand, and I asked him, "Hey, how many deadly spiders have you seen in your lifetime?" 2. In his 11 years of life, he has seen 2 deadly spiders in his lifetime of 11 years old. And I was just like, oh no. That's too many spiders for 11 years. And then also you guys have 8 of the 10 most deadliest animals in the world.
Yeah, but they're not going to be at the convention center, so you'd be okay if they held Celebration in Melbourne. Say Celebration in Melbourne was on this year, great, I don't have to leave my house. The convention center's right in the city. It's right near all the public transport. There's hotels and things everywhere. The chances of running into a dangerous animal or a dangerous spider would be very minuscule. If you went out, if you got in a car and you drove out of the city and you went walking around in bushland or farmland or something weird, you might come across a snake or something. If you really wanted to go out of your way, you might be able to find something. But I think while you were just walking the floor or covering a panel or walking the carpet or something, I think you'd be okay. But I think we always joke about it, but I just don't think they'll do it in Australia. I think it's just too far away. I don't think Diego Luna's getting on a plane for 18 hours to. I'm surprised that there's as many people coming to Japan. To be honest, I mean they've got Diego and Oscar Isaac is coming as well, which it's kind of funny because they announced what they're doing with the panel lotteries this year. It's not even lotteries. It's this weird system where you have to, because before you just put your name, you put your name in, you get an email going, oh, hey, Laura, you got the Ahsoka panel and you can go in. And this time they're going, well, you log in at a certain time and it's almost like buying a ticket and then you can basically book different panels, but you only get one per day. This is like the premium panels.
Oh.
So there's no more groups. So you can't do a group booking anymore. So you're all on your own. I don't know if it's first come, first serve. You might
be able to get in, but your friends might not.
Yeah, exactly. So, which is a bit rubbish, but I guess I think the groups thing threw a lot of the lottery out, that it would either get some people or not get some people. But it's weird because they've listed them, but gone, okay, they've got a Friday is the Mandalorian and Grogu panel. Saturday, because only 3 days, they're doing two panels, which is the Ahsoka and the Andor panel. And then Sunday is the Visions Season 3 panel. And then weirdly on the website, they've got they're all in dot points down the thing. And then above the first one on the Friday is a dot point with nothing in it. Like it's a blank one. And when I thought, oh, maybe it's just like a weird website thing where it just hasn't, but it's still up. Like they haven't changed it. So, because people are going, oh, there's no Lucasfilm panel. There's no future thing. So unless they're waiting to get their ducks in a row before they actually decide
I think they're going to find out. Yeah, I think they're trying to find because the Mandalorian people are going to be there to talk about the movie,
Yep.
potential the movie, and then who knows if Sean Levy is going to show up or not. But
Well, they're bringing Oscar Isaac all the way over. He's not coming all the way over just to sign autographs. It just seems really strange. Because they're going, because Kathy Kennedy said, the next movie, like we've got this Mandalorian Grogu movie coming out, and then the one after that is the Sean Levy one. Before the Rey movie, it's 5 or 6 years after Rise of Skywalker. So you're kind of going, all right, I'm doing the math gymnastics in my head here. What does that look like? Do you put Oscar Isaac in that? Is he the anchor of that film? And that's why you take him to Celebration Japan to say, hey, there's another movie coming, and you could potentially carry the story forward with him as the anchor. Bring him out, all handsome and, with his beard probably and his natural grey. As a naturally grey person myself, it's always good when Oscar Isaac is naturally grey.
Well, he said he would only return to Star Wars if he needed another house, and I think he just bought another house.
There you go. Drive a dump truck of money up to his house. This is all the Harrison Ford deals they're all getting now. That you don't get anything on the first runs, and then you come back, and then you get the Harrison Ford deals. That I'm sure Daisy and whoever else is going to get.
Well, Daisy said she's interested in coming back, and so is Bayega. But I definitely don't see them doing another Star Wars, but I could definitely see them, as long as I know with Oscar Isaac, who he's very committed to, he has to be a good script.
Yep.
So I truly believe, I don't know if we're going to see him and Sean Levy, but I really think we're going to see a Poe Dameron series.
I think something. I just think he just wouldn't fly all the way to Japan just to do some photos. He doesn't, like you said. If he's only doing Star Wars for a new house, he's not gonna. I mean, I'm sure that pays very well to do autographs, but it's a long way to go to make a little bit of money on autographs.
No one expected Ewan McGregor to come back, and he did.
I remember when they announced that, and even when they were talking, and I was going, "There's no way Ewan McGregor would do photographs. There's no way he would do that. He's too famous. He doesn't need that." And lo and behold, he seems to be loving it. So maybe I'm wrong, but I'm sure he just left his house down the road and went to Celebration. I think he flew all the way he's going to fly all the way to Japan for it, but I don't know.
He has a young child, so I guess he has to, because he has older adult kids, and now he's a young child. You gotta take care of them.
That's right. Kids are expensive. Trust me, I know.
Yeah, kids are expensive, and so but we didn't expect that. So I truly believe we are. Yeah, I agree with you. I believe we're gonna get something. And if I hopefully if I hear any insider, I'll let you know if I hear stuff beforehand.
Yeah.
Right now, everything's hush.
Yeah, I know. Sure, it just seemed weird that they. I mean, I know that there's obviously that this is just the panels that you need to apply for. There'll be other stuff that they always have, the animation stuff, and they'll probably do a Revenge of the Sith 20th as well, and they'll do some other things. This is literally just the ones that people have to sort of jostle for, which is fine. I'm looking forward to some good Japanese efficiency in the lines and things, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm surprised you don't apply for media, because this would be great to include in your
I just
news.
Sometimes it's just nice to go not have any responsibilities. I don't know, but yeah, and it was just, I think, I'm taking my whole family's coming over to Japan, so we're doing a family trip. So I'm taking my partner and our daughters over, and we're having a holiday before, and Celebration's the very, very last thing. So they're at the moment I'm gonna take them on the Sunday, which is the last day. So I'll have sort of 2 days of just doing whatever, and then the Sunday I'll take the girls to Celebration and see how they go. So they've got their passes to go, and they're only sort of 6 and 9, but my youngest daughter particularly is really into Star Wars at the moment. So she's ready to roll. So I'm getting some stickers made and some patches that they can hand out and trade. And
you gonna cosplay?
I don't cosplay. I think Sloane, my youngest, is keen. She wants to dress as Rey because Rey's her favorite. Rey and Leia.
Oh, okay.
Her two favorites.
Yeah, kids. It's really great for kids to dress up, and everyone goes, "Oh, kids!"
Yeah, exactly. It'll just be fun, and it's just because I said this before on the podcast. Some people have said, "Oh, would you get them to do a photo with so and so, and get them to do a photo with so?" I'm going, I think they would be just as impressed as somebody just dressed up on the floor. if I know Daisy Ridley is not doing photos, but if Daisy Ridley was there and I said, let's get a photo with Ray, and you get a photo with Daisy Ridley and she's just in her t-shirt and jeans, and there was somebody on the floor dressed as Ray, I think she'd be more excited that there was real Ray rather than she might just go, oh, I guess that's Ray, I suppose, random English lady.
No, you get definitely go to Disney Tokyo, and then she'll see Ray there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're doing Universal, and I think we're doing one of the Disney parks. I'm not too sure yet, but we went. Kat, my partner, and I went about 10 years ago, just before we had kids. So we've been before. We kind of know what to expect, but kids is another thing. A whole new ball game. Yeah, exactly. And then I don't know. Who knows where it ends up after that? I assume they'll come back to the States. Whether they do it next year or they wait till the 50th anniversary in 2027. I probably won't make Celebration 2077 because even I'll be 101
I think
years
all
old.
of us will be.
I'll just be a head in a jar at Celebration.
No, I know. I'm definitely going to try to do it next year. I'm going to move some things because, I think with Emmy stuff, I'm trying to pick and choose now. But then I was like, oh no, I got to cover it this year because all TV shows are amazing this year. And I can't wait for Andor too because I really am anticipating that one.
There's a new too. I know we just this only came out about an hour before we recorded. I think was Disney Plus dropped a new 2-minute sort of preview teaser on Andor. So not the trailer, but like a new little. So I saw it just before and I was like, oh wow, it was amazing. I think it was actually better than the trailer as far as the things that it was showing. I liked the trailer. I liked the Andor trailer, but I thought the tone. I think it was a very generalist tone. It was very try to hype the general public up about it. It was kind of upbeat. Where I don't think it's going to be an upbeat show at all. I think, but I think this actually was a little bit more sort of showing probably what the tone of the show is going to be like. But very cool. And
I'm excited. 12 episodes too. So
what do you think about the release? The 3-week though. It's hell on us podcasters trying to watch 3 and then review it and get the review up.
Oh, I know. But you know what? Yeah, it's crazy because they give us a quick embargo too for when we, even when we get it, we get them maybe only 3 days before it premieres, and we have to write about it. So it's like, oh god, and we don't even get and even if we do it weekly, we don't get the episodes until the same time. So we have to quickly, like you guys, we have to quickly talk about it, write about it. And I'm so excited about this one though. This is the one I actually love Skeleton Crew. So I'm really but Andor is
it's prestige.
How are you gonna it's prestige. How are you gonna top season 1? Especially since they had more time because of the strikes and everything to really fine tune everything.
Yeah.
And so I'm just I don't know. I'm really looking forward to it.
What is a screener like? What is it? Just a little inside baseball here. What does a screener look like for you? Is it literally just a link? Is it like a login to a website you watch on a laptop with your headphones on? Is it an app that you have a special app with a special profile, or does it depend, or does it just sort of go? It's easier for me just to watch on a laptop with my headphones, or if I want to have the big couch watch on the couch experience, I can do that, or is it? I think there's a big watermark there somewhere.
There's watermark. Yeah, there's a big watermark because people
He's just looking at don't put this on the internet, Laura, if you want to know one of these again.
Because we know who you are, and then they also have a code thing attached to it. So even if it gets shared and they're able to remove it, there is a code that that connects them to it. But yeah, for this one, they send us. We have an account with Disney, not like a Disney Plus account, but it's like a Disney Screeners account. And so there's a whole bunch of screeners in there that we get approved for, and we have to sign an NDA in order to unlock the episodes. We sign an NDA every single
every
time.
Episode.
Not every episode, but every kind of new
screeners. Yeah.
So that we are gonna watch, we have to sign an NDA, like a little contract, and we have to follow the embargo. We have to make sure and they give us points that we can't talk about until after the episode airs. Like if for example, like some people do reviews like beforehand, like of like not before in the beginning we do reviews beforehand, but afterwards people do reviews after. But in case like there's a they give us the first maybe five, they don't give us a whole season, but they give us like the first 4 episodes, and then they give each talking point in each episode. You cannot talk about this, you cannot talk about that beforehand.
So do you see
until
that
after it
before
airs.
you've watched it, or do you purposely read the bit you can't talk about after? You know, you can't, if it was going like if
I read
somebody,
after.
yeah, so you're like, well, I don't want to read the bit that says you can't talk about so and so dying. I'm like, oh well, I really wish I
Yeah,
didn't know that before I watched it.
yeah. You can't talk about like like all these people. Like you can't talk about anyone dying. You can't talk about like there's certain things like or the reveal if there's a reveal or the cameo if there's a cameo.
Yep.
Like they tell you you cannot do that. Um, and so we try, and plus we signed a form. But you know, there's going to be some reporters who have the audacity to do it because they can big trades or outlets.
So do they just do it, and is it just basically a weighted risk to reward when something like that? Going, well, we'll incur the wrath of Disney by giving something away, but it's worth it because we'll get more clicks because we said that, you know, we posted
Yeah,
a
there's a
point.
lot of people like that.
Yeah. So they don't necessarily just, depending on who you are, they might go like, right, no more screeners for you. You get no and or screener because you blew it last time.
Well, they tell them like, hey, you know, please take it down. Like if you do a tweet, please take it down. Like they're very quick about that. And they tell them like, hey, we will revoke access. This is a warning. Do not do any spoilers or stuff like that. Because you know it's a privilege. Getting screeners is a privilege. It's not a right.
Yep.
And so I like for me, I'm like obviously if I don't like it, I'm allowed to criticize it because in the review, in the official, and then I criticize it not in a f this thing like this is a effing thing. No, it's
constructive.
critical of like yeah, like dialogue was like, or if I say like the writing was not was not strong, the acting was strong. You know, the acting was strong, but the writing was very lacking. Like I'm allowed to criticize that as a critic, but I'm never gonna be like Diego Luna sucks. But and he never will.
I've got his name tag. I've got his little name thing.
But you know, I have to be like Disney understands we have to be critical. Like if it's like review and if it's not. Like, if it's not good,
do you
then
think
we
they have
to
an
be
inkling of what people will latch on beforehand anyway? You know what I mean? If they kind of go, oh, we put this out, we think this bit isn't the strongest, they're probably going to go after this. They're probably going to.
Yeah, they know they do a lot of research on there, like and they get a lot of consultants, but it's the thing is like the other things is like leaking info or posting like breaking embargo. It's like I always tell people like it's a privilege to get screeners. Like yes, you could be a critic, a high critic, and you could be a well-known journalist, but it's still a privilege because you know we have to follow the rules of like we get access to cover it, and it's not like it's like breaking news of like you know of like something controversial that we feel like we need to have people know, like you know about Diddy and stuff like oh yeah we need to break this kind of stuff because this is like something important that people should know. But this is like it's just a review. It's just like
have you ever come close where you've gone, how can I creatively allure to something without like have you ever like walked too close to the sun that you've thought, or have you always been pretty good just to steer clear of anything you weren't supposed to?
I mean, if they give me a exclusive or like they give me exclusive like information that they're like not Disney but like the actor or the actress like I broke a story like if it's regarding like I broke a story where I and it's not from Disney like emailing everyone, hey, we're gonna give you this news and do not leak it, do not share it until the embargo date. Yep. They usually do that. We'll get info and they said, please post your coverage on this day. You cannot break it. But like Deadline and Variety, if they hear something that isn't emailed to them about like that stuff, like it's a source,
yep.
then they're allowed to. Then we can break it.
We'll just do it. Yeah.
Yeah, like because it's like it's pressing news that we want to get the exclusive of.
Yeah.
And I broke the news of Snoop Dogg and BTS collaborating together. Like,
I forgot
was
about your K-pop fan stuff. I've
yeah.
seen all your
Well, no,
K-pop
it's
stuff
funny.
on the.
Yeah, I was interviewing I was doing the carpet for a TV show that Snoop Dogg was on, and I was just talking to him and interviewing him about the show, and then I asked him, I'm like, hey, how about K-pop? Are you guys gonna do any? Are you gonna do anything? And he kind of looked around. He was just like, and then he told me that he was doing a collab with them. He goes, I'm gonna do a collab, blah blah blah, and I'm just like, oh. And like he walked away, and I made sure I researched to make sure it wasn't out there. He didn't say he never said he was going to collaborate with them. He never, nothing was confirmed. And the fact that I have a soundbite of him saying, yes, I'm doing this. He is my source because he is Snoop Dogg. So I was like, I went to the outlets. I'm like, I have this breaking news. It is legit breaking news. And so I was able to, and so like the song didn't come out like 2 weeks later, but because like, and then BTS denied it and everything, but not denied, but they didn't say, they're like no comment. But because I got it from a source, I'm able to break it.
So is it like high fives when that kind of thing happens? Is everyone just like woo?
Yeah,
woo?
yeah. It's always cool to be part of an exclusive, and people don't understand what exclusive means. They think, oh, I interviewed them, that means an exclusive. I'm like, no, exclusive is they only gave you the information that no one else got.
Yep. Yep.
So I did get an exclusive interview for Squid Game, because I was the first one to publish it in the US, before anyone else did, like with my interview. So that is considered an exclusive.
We just finished season. Well, what is it? Season 1.5 or 2. The first half of the first season of what? Yeah, well, we loved the first one, and we were just a little bit behind, and we only just finished. It's just like, I mean, it's great, but it's just like, oh god, this tension is is killing me. It's unbelievable. It's so good. It's so good.
It is so good, and yeah, but if for things like that, and like if I'm able to get Oscar Isaac to accidentally slip. That if I was on the carpet and I was just like, oh, what are you doing here, dude? And he was, he's being coy, like, I'm here to celebrate, like the trilogy that I was in before. But then he goes, I can't wait to work on my new movie. Then I get to
new house. I can't wait to move into my new house.
But, unless Disney doesn't catch us and said, you can't say that, don't do that, don't do that. If he just said it and he didn't think about it, and if people are able to leave, you can break that news.
Yep. Do you is that like, if you have Oscar Isaac, are you kind of like, well, what's a question that I can ask that might be coming at a different angle that he's not necessarily, that he's not. I remember when I used to do some video stuff for Steel, I used to help him out on some of the stuff, and he'd done an interview with Daisy Ridley. I can't remember which. I think it might have been the Last Jedi celebration, and he asked her a question, and she literally went, oh, I have not been prepped for that. Like it wasn't even like it wasn't like, who's your parents, who's Ray's parents, it was just a particular question that she just went, oh, you've just come at me at an angle where, I'm sure behind the thing they go, now if they say who's Ray's mum, you say I don't know, or if you say it, so do you ever sometimes try to come in on an angle slightly different, or you just got that nice way about you where they just cough things up?
No, I if I didn't expect them to be on the carpet, then I have to figure out what questions I ask. But if for everything I cover when I write things, I try to do it, and I do a lot of research to see if people ask these questions, because I'm tired of those. As a fan, I'm tired of seeing the same thing. Yep. Who's Ray's mom? Who's Ray's mom? Yeah. Like, hey, could this be Ray's mom? Are you Ray's mom? To like, I don't know, like Gwendolyn Christie. I'm like, are you Ray's mom? Like, like I as a fan, like I would get annoyed with that, and even if I was an actor, if I kept getting constantly asked, like Manny Jacinto constantly was asked, "Are you the guy in the mask?" And he had to deny it. He has to deny it, but like it's so tiring to have that, and so I do a lot. And like sometimes I do need to ask that so I can just warm them up. But then I do so much research to see what questions have been asked before, and then to see if there's an angle that I can do. Like I could ask them to kind of switch it up and get something new.
Yeah.
Like my thing is, if someone reads an article of mine or watches like a thing, is there something new you learned? like I asked Ewan McGregor, like because no one has asked him this before. So I showed him a picture of him when it was for the carpet before Obi-Wan Kenobi, and for Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I asked him, I said, like, what can we expect from this? Because everyone asked him this, and then he was like, oh, this, and this. I said, but can we expect moments like this? And I showed him the green screen of him laying down like this,
Oh, the
and he
little.
was just like, oh, and like, his reaction was just so priceless. He goes, oh, he's like laughing. He goes, oh, I don't. He goes, yeah. He goes, I don't think you're gonna get this because this is behind the scenes, but maybe you will. Like, and he was just gave me, he gave me something more because, like, for me, I'm just like, I want you to like people. I want the audience, me as a Star Wars fan, and everyone else, and as a fan, to get something new.
Yep.
It may not be everything new, but at least there's something like, oh, there's something I learned today. Like he laughed. He finally saw his picture of him laying down.
It's funny because Star Wars fans are probably really familiar with it, but it's not like he's googling photos of himself behind the scenes from 20 years ago. So he probably hasn't seen that photo, or at least hasn't seen it in years. So it would be funny to him. What's like out of? I'm just going to keep doing Star Wars line of questioning here, just because this is you've done things like I said that a lot of us have not experienced. Like what's person like Star Wars person, whether an actor or whatever else that you met in person that surprised you, just like physically, whether they were like, wow, they're so big, they're so small, they're so tiny, they're so wide, they're so like just completely what you expect. You kind of meet me like, oh, that was unexpected.
Well, John Boyega was my holiday card 2 years ago.
Oh yeah.
So he like, I knew he exudes charisma and stuff, but I didn't realize how much charisma he exudes. I was like ready when to talk to him and stuff, and then the way he just looks at you and he stares at you and he was like, hey, like talking to you. I'm just like, oh my god, I see why you are called John Boyega.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and he really is attentive and stuff like, and the fact that I said, hey, do you mind being my holiday card this year? He was very cool with it. Like he's someone I did not expect to want to talk about Star Wars, because in my mind of all the experiences that are happening, what happened to his character, and how like he was treated, like not from in Star Wars because they were great to him, but like the fans and everything, I wasn't sure how receptive he would be regarding questions about Star Wars and stuff like that. So, but he was like, I just told him, like, we talked briefly, and he was just so chill, and he was very receptive of it. And like, another person that I was but he's not that big too. He's very slim and very very handsome. But another person who I was very shocked, actually, Harrison Ford. I was thinking he was gonna be a grumpy old man. I had a fear he was gonna be a grumpy old man. I'm just like, oh, I have to talk to him, and because I've seen his red carpets, and he's just like, what's the most exciting thing? Going home, like, you don't say. It's just like, and so I was anticipating him to be like grandpa, like I'm like, I just want to go home, like get off my lawn, that kind of stuff. Yeah. But he was like, oh, hey, how's it going? Like very, very nice, and then like just gentle, like he was just smiling, and I was just like, are you gonna yell at me? Like it's just like, so
but that's weird. Okay. I feel like I feel like he's. I'm assuming you're saying shrinking. I feel like that's probably the closest to what he's probably like in real life, where he's, he is a bit sort of, when he needs to be, but it's all a bit kind of murmur just because I can, rather than I'm actually, because I seen him on things like Conan O'Brien and stuff through the years, where he's always like wants to have fun and stuff like that. Like but he's Harrison Ford, the things that come with Harrison Ford is like, you probably can't do all the things you want to do all the time because people are in your face and stuff. So,
I know.
Yeah.
I was expecting that. I was expecting shrinking, and plus, I've seen his red carpets. He people are like, oh, what's like, he has been the way he is in shrinking, where he's just like they're like, oh, like, are you happy? Do you know anything about like Marvel? Are you excited about this? And he goes, no. Like he's just like that. And I'm just like, oh, he's gonna eat me alive. Like, and then talking to him, it was a great conversation, and and just like it was brief,
Short
but
or
it was
tall? Short
just
or
right.
tall Harrison?
Yeah, like
Is he
I was
tall,
just like ready
Harrison?
for he's tall. He is
Yeah,
tall.
because I've
He's
seen,
a big
obviously you see photos from back in the day, and he towers over Carrie and Mark and stuff. But you kind of go, well, that was '80s tall. How's he compare now to? But
well, I felt like he took a photo with me too, and he had to like go down, and I'm not even that short. Like he was just like, oh, and I'm just like, oh, that's so nice of you. And like I didn't expect him to say yes. Like I like because I even asked. Like my colleague was like, she loves you, Mine, and he was just like, yeah. And like I was just like, that's really unexpected.
yeah.
I was really worried. Like I was like, I don't want like because you don't want to meet your heroes kind of
How
things.
far out
Where
did you know that you were gonna like? Was it just minutes before, or you knew going to the venue that you were gonna meet Harrison
I think
Ford?
he's gonna be there, but I didn't expect
Right. So it
me
wasn't
to
like you
get
were
him.
mentally prepping all day, going, "Well, I've got to figure out how this
Yeah,
Harrison Ford thing's gonna go."
I'm like, we'll see. I always have him ready, but I also know like not to expect it.
Yep.
And I get the list of people who are going, and I'm like, okay, let's see what I can get.
Yep.
And that's like how I push for it, because I know I like there's certain people that I know I will get like Kathleen talks to everyone, Apolloni talks to everyone, Fabral talks to everyone, like because they're great about that. And then also Pedro Pascal is so amazing. I love him so much. Oh my god, I love him so much. And like when I spoke to him, and like I was actually like dressed in like my I was doing the carpet, and like I was just and I was like I just like I saw him, and I didn't expect him to come talk to me, and like I think I whispered I love you because he's the only one to be able to get me to react that way. I I love him so much. Like you don't know. Like I love him so much. Like
Is there a difference? Do you think that they know? Because you're a legit journalist. And I see a lot of stuff. Like I'm not. I'm just a podcaster, but there does seem to
don't say
be
that.
a difference between a lot of this stuff. There's a lot of influencers who go on there as well. Like, is it acknowledged? Is it known? Do people know they're like, oh, she's a legitimate journalist? She'll probably have something more interesting to ask about than like, what's your favorite TikTok dance or something? Or do you think that you've kind of got either you've got that reputation now, or you've got that vibe that you're actually like a little bit more sort of, professionally trained, so to speak?
Well, they don't know that. Like when they come on the
They're
carpet,
just seeing a line of people.
they're all doing a line.
Yep.
When they go into a press room, the PR people arranges everything for them. So the PR arranges everything for them. So when they enter a junket, if they do a junket, they don't really know. There's just so many that they're just like, okay. And it's only when you interview and you talk about things that they kind of get the gist, like, oh, okay, she's like,
yeah,
she's covering this and
means
stuff.
it probably goes lots of longer interaction if they feel like they're getting some good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on like because junkets are very like timely. Like if I get like I'm lucky if I do get 10 minutes with them, but like it's really great. Like whenever I click with people in the junket, like to talk about things and to whenever they react, because like I think that's why I do a lot of research, because I like it when they react to things too, because it's like, oh, I wasn't asked it, like you said with Steele, like, oh, I've never been asked that in that way. And it's great for them because every they go every 5 minutes, like, or 10 minute slots, they have to keep going and answer the same things and the same way. People always ask like kind of very similar questions, and so like unless you're playing a game, then it's very different.
Do you ever get a recognition now? Like if you're out somewhere, have you had people like, oh, hello again, you? Like I recognize you from the last one, or does it feel like it's so many faces?
I got to Michelle Yeoh where she recognized me because I've interviewed her all the time. She wants to do a Star Wars, and she wouldn't mind doing she wants to do everything, so I believe her. Ming-Na Wen, she recognizes me, like, because I feel like a lot of the Asian actors, Manny Jacinto, I know Manny really well. So not really well, but not like we're like this.
Like he's
But
going to
like
help you move or something like that. You just bring him up. You're like,
yeah,
hey,
like I'll
let's get
call
those
him and like,
muscles
hey
to work.
Manny,
Come
what's
on.
up? We're buddies.
I need
No,
someone to
it's
move some
more of like
boxes, muscles.
I've seen him at all the Asian events, like the Asians Entertainment, and interviewed him so many times that he sees me. He goes, okay, yeah, I work with her. Like she like I'll give her more time
Yep.
because I know her work. And like and as a journalist, like I make sure I cover. I do a thorough job regarding like what I want to talk about in the article. But yeah, like a lot of the I'm still trying to get Diego Luna to say what's up to me. I was like,
He's like, hey, yeah, you're the one who stole my name thing. I went back looking for that and it was gone.
Diego
Like some
Luna, we
lady
just
walked off with
chat
it.
together. And
Did you ever interview Carrie?
I briefly did, and but the thing is, there's a moment of you know how you have to be professional and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think you see tears running from my face as I'm talking to them. And I only got to have one question with her, and it was right before, like obviously before, like a year before she passed. And she was doing a Russian hair, and I was trying to get a question, and she was just like, yeah, yeah, and like here, and she had the whole row of us, and she was just like, da da da, and then I'm just like, I don't know what you said, I don't know what I said, but then you just like the love, like because that's like an icon that like, and I met Mark Hamill, I've met like, and Harrison Ford, like I'm just like these are icons that you're just like I'm so like you're just so happy to see them. Oh my god, hold on one sec. No, go outside. No, and it's like you are just like these people are icons, and so it's hard. Like I do it sometimes. There are moments where I kind of fangirl in a way, like where I'm just like, oh,
I've got to find the balance
like,
here between, you said, professionalism and just fanning out. That's
Well, there's some people that I'm able to like hold it in. Like with Manny, I'm like, hey Manny, what's up? But then I'm very professional. Like Diego Luna, like it was very professional, even though because it was a awards show, and I interviewed him before that too, and I got to sit in his table, and then we did shots. But I was always like, don't stare at him.
What's he eating?
Don't
Look at him eat.
Isn't
that crazy? Look at him. He's eating food. I don't believe it.
No, don't look at this man. Like,
he's too handsome. Just like look at my eyes. It's like when I was in New York years ago with friends, we were in a shop, and Jessica Alba was in the shop, and it was literally like she was so beautiful I couldn't even look at her. It was like I was just like, I've never seen anybody so beautiful, apart from my family, of course, in real life, where I've just gone, oh my god, like that's crazy that like was like looking directly at the sun. I just had to like walk away. But so it's probably the same being close to Pedro Pascal or Diego Luna from across the table.
I think there's video of me because I interviewed him, and I was dressed up as Phoenix Chan, and I was just like, oh no, I'm not hot right now. to get dolled up I was in Phoenix Chan. But then he said to me, wow, you look great. And I'm just like,
thank you.
I love you. He is like everything I want in a life partner. and anyway, but I got to interview him. I felt really great, but and like even my business card is of him.
Oh, really?
I have a business card of him, like not a business card, but like it goes to my website, my work website, like this, and it's just a picture of him and a quote from him, and I pass those out so people can have pictures of him, but it's also, hey, here's my contact, because I know you're going to keep this photo forever.
That's right.
I would
put it up on your refrigerator.
Yeah.
Well, we're just about wearing up the end. Just like, you just plow through. There's just good stuff to talk about. I knew you'd have great stuff to talk about. That's why I wanted you on here. Anything you can sizzle about? Anything you can sizzle about? What's something interesting that you're going to be dropping soon? You obviously just saw Daredevil, so you've got some words about Daredevil coming out soon.
Yeah. So I'm actually covering this weekend. This weekend I'm covering this movie called Novocaine, with Jack Quaid and Amber Midthunder. So I'm going to interview them this weekend. And I'm also a whole bunch of stuff is TV. Lots of TV stuff. I have. Do you hear the background noise? I want to make sure you don't hear that.
Doesn't matter. It's like some child. It's like at my house. There's always some random person talking in the background.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Oh my God. I will hear. Anyway, but like no, it's TV season now. Oscars closed and done. Like right now, so I have Novocaine this week, but it is a film that I'm really excited that it's really good too. I really enjoyed that one. And then two TV shows I just did the press junket for. One actually a TV show called Deli Boys. My stuff's coming out tomorrow, and I have Picture This that has Simone Ashley. It's like a rom-com that I that's adorable and from the UK. And then and a lot of K-pop stuff coming up. But like
the K-pop machine never ends.
Yeah, but then I'm waiting for more Andor stuff to come out and Thunderbolts. So I'm making sure I'm covering Andor this year on the season. I covered it the first season, so I'm it's been 3 years. I feel like that meme of like it's been 84 years, like it's a Titanic one because like it was supposed to come out last year.
Oh, and, no, I know. We've got resident Andor number one friend of the podcast here, so we get every time. We've been waiting to find out when it comes out. So it's finally going to happen, which is exciting. Over Celebration, which is great. So I'm sorry that you're not going to be there in Japan unless something crazy happens in the last few weeks. You get some crazy email from Disney, and they're just like, "You got to be there. We're flying you over." And if that happens, we'll do some karaoke and some sake and something and have a good time. Failing that, we'll be hopefully whenever the next celebration is in the States, whether it's next year or the year after. Hopefully we can have a longer conversation and not get interrupted by Steele's show this time.
Oh, I know. Like I love Steele, so he could interrupt me. You can interrupt me anytime. I love talking. I love talking to you and like just tweeting with you about like all the Star Wars stuff
and news
coming out.
Sometime, we won't wait forever. We'll get you back and get your thoughts on stuff if you're happy to come back on sometime.
Yeah. No, but seriously, you've always been so kind. Like I know when I was dealing with the Rose Tico hate from like people online, you guys have always like had my back, so I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Do you want to plug socials or anything like that? I think you're still like gripping on to Twitter, like with your hands. You can't let go.
It's hard because like I built a lot of friendships there, and I even built a lot of like work stuff. Like, 'cause I don't do anything personal on there anymore. Like I maybe sometimes, but I mainly tweet about work stuff or like the hellscapes that we're living in now and the politics. But I mostly tweet and talk about my work on there. But on Instagram, I'm more like everything. I do my work and I'm on there more often. So Instagram is like L Sirik, and then Blue Sky. I'm on everything. Okay. As long as I can get my work and people can look at my work, I'm like here with the Nerds of Color, with Variety, with IGN, like Nerdist. Like I always try to make sure everyone knows what's going on.
Awesome. Well, thanks for an awesome time. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
We will be back hopefully next week. I'm just trying to work out. I've got another guest who is coming to Celebration. I'm just trying to work out whether it'll be this week or next week. And then we've got this panel stuff that's come out. So we'll probably get all the Melbourne Australian crew talking on about stuff like before Celebration. Lots to do. Laura, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's so nice to see you again. Like to hear you, but also see you because you and I are doing a video, but like everything else is not.
Exactly. We'll see you soon.
And then you're still daytime, so good day.
Thank you. Hey, you nailed it.
Good day. All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.